My favorite part about being a lawyer is bringing relief to my client's life. If a monetary award can replace, which it normally can't, but if it's that next best thing to help them get things back in order. The ability to do that is what makes me happy.
Hey everyone, Bo Royal here, co-founder and CEO of Pareto Legal, a marketing agency that helps injury lawyers increase their profits with business strategy, digital advertising, and analytics. You're listening to the Pareto Legal Podcast, where we feature world-class attorneys, entrepreneurs, and legal experts. And today I am joined by Lawrence Kalikhman, owner and managing partner of Kalikhman Rayz, a personal injury law firm based in Philadelphia. In this episode, we'll discuss Lawrence's background, his firm's success story, what challenges and obstacles he sees both for his firm and other personal injury law firms, and more. Lawrence, thanks for doing this and welcome to the show.
It's a pleasure to be here, Bo. Thanks for having me.
So, Lawrence, I'm going to dive right in with the first question. Talk to me about how you got started as a lawyer and how you ended up owning and operating your own law firm.
Sure. I'm actually partners with a very good friend of mine. We were friends way before we were attorneys. We kind of grew up together. We're both immigrants from Ukraine now. When my parents came here, it was the Soviet Union at that time. My partner moved here when he was 13 years old from Lviv. And we, I was born in the United States, but I grew up in an immigrant family. So we were always close to the community in Northeast Philadelphia. My partner, Eric, we met, I believe, around high school, and we've been friends ever since. And we both went to law school, and we decided to open up a law firm.
And how long ago was that?
We opened our firm in 2005. Well, we've been friends since mid-90s, I'd say.
So K&R has been around now for nearly 20 years.
Yes.
Congratulations. That's an amazing feat to have a profitable business running for that long. There's not a lot of people out there that have had a firm as long as that. So kudos to you guys. I want to pivot a little bit here and talk about your firm's success specifically with community marketing. And I know that your firm has had a lot of success specifically with southeastern Pennsylvania's Russian and Uzbek communities. Can you talk about how and why you think you've been so successful with generating business from these communities?
Yes. I mean, it's Russian-speaking community in Northeast Philadelphia, which is where I was born and where Eric immigrated into. But that was the core of our, I'd say, was a business plan. We had one desk and two phones back in 2005. But the idea was that this is our base. These are people that trust us for all their legal needs. Most people don't know the difference between whether or not you're an injury lawyer, a tax lawyer, or a business lawyer. But as an immigrant community, you have all of these needs. And one of the biggest things that as an attorney is to develop that trust factor. So we knew that that would be a good base for us to get started. And that's exactly what we did. In 2005, we were already pretty well known in the community, but we became their reputable, trusted partners, not just their attorneys. We became their counselors.
And I know that's still kind of a core part of your business too today. Obviously, you've since branched out and started marketing to a broader region. Like you're not just in these Russian neighborhoods anymore. You're advertising throughout the entire southeastern quadrant of Pennsylvania and generating a lot of cases from all parts of that region, right?
Correct. Yeah, that was a base that we are grateful for, that we appreciate, and that we don't take for granted. But yes, we don't. We handle our cases for anybody, and we do just as good a job for anybody's file comes across our desk. But that's how we got started. That was our foundation, and we're grateful to that community.
Awesome. A bit of a shift here in questioning now. What's your favorite part about being a lawyer and running a law firm?
Honestly, my favorite part about being a lawyer is bringing relief to my client's life, and relief and happiness, if that's possible. If a monetary award can replace, which it normally can't, but if it's that next best thing to help them get things back in order, to help them be able to pay their bills, to any medical expenses, to participate more in their family events, the ability to do that is what makes me happy.
Awesome. And then talk to me about some of the challenges that your firm is dealing with today. Obviously you guys have been in business now for nearly 20 years. As an established firm, in the Philadelphia market, what challenges are you trying to overcome these days?
Very competitive market. We're dealing with people who are investing millions and millions of dollars in advertising. So it's a tough task. It's a David versus Goliath situation. So it's not necessarily back to your abilities, which is what has sold us to date, but the ability to market is just important as the ability, not just the ability to market, to the ability to market and have your back office and all your systems and process in order is just as important as your skills in the courtroom. And they don't teach that in law school.
So part of the challenge, it sounds like then, is kind of, it's not necessarily legal challenges, right? It's more like business and operational challenges, right?
Absolutely. I would say it's a huge part of this business, because you can't be the best in both situations. You can't be, what's that saying? Jack of all trades, master of none. That applies wholeheartedly to this profession, because you can't be doing depositions, arbitrations, trials, answering discovery, dealing with staff, and at the same time have your systems, processes, marketing, fine-tuned, because there's just not enough time in the day for one person or a handful of people to do all of that. That requires a team, that requires specialists. I'm not the best marketing guy in the world. I'm not the best businessman in the world. I need to have those people in my corner.
I think that's really great insight. And I think in your case specifically, Lawrence, something I know about you is you've kind of pulled yourself out of that day-to-day minutia, right? And you're spending a greater proportion of your time working on your business, not in your business, right? What do you think has enabled you to do that? You kind of alluded to it, but what do you think has enabled you to, pull yourself out of the day-to-day and make some of these bigger decisions and push your firm forward?
Well, I've been fortunate enough to be successful throughout my career. And I realized that I need to take a few steps back to take some steps forward. And the only way to do that is to pull yourself out of the day-to-day fires. I'm trying not to be a fireman anymore, and I'm trying to be more of a quarterback. And that's a big distinction. When you're involved in the day-to-day minutia, you're putting out fires on a day-to-day. If you want to be proactive and not reactive, you got to take some steps back, plan, and execute. And listen, I'm not a genius. I've been given good advice by you, and I'm trying to follow that advice.
I appreciate that. I will say though, for your firm specifically, you guys have a great team, and I know that you and Eric have really done a good job of putting the right people in the right seats, and I think that's lent to your ability to be out of that day to day and have those firefighters in place so that you're not dealing with that minutia, right?
Well, the idea is that you don't want those fires. The idea is those fires are going to come, but if you're prepared in advance, you can avoid it. But if you're just, in our business, for instance, there's a 2-year statute of limitations, and if you're just waiting for every case to get to that 2 years and file it, you're just putting out fires. That's not, A, you're going to be doing a disservice to the client, and B, you're doing a disservice to yourself.
Agreed. What are you most excited about in the future, either on like a personal level or with your firm or in the legal industry as a whole? Like what's exciting you about, the next decade?
Just growth. Personally, this is this is personal for me. It's my life. It's my livelihood, and my goals are to make, the highest expectations. I don't want to leave one client unhappy. My goal is for everybody who walks out of this office to say that they're pleased with what had occurred. They're pleased with the experience, because this isn't a 5-minute relationship. This is a sometimes 2, 3, 4-year relationship. And I want that. I don't ever want my clients to need me again, but when they walk out of here, I want them to be able to refer me to anybody else who's in a similar situation.
That's awesome. I want to talk a little bit about your guys' reputation, and I'll start with a disclaimer here. Lawrence and the Kalikhman Rayz team have been a client of ours for over a year now, and when we started working with you guys back in early 2023, you had a great reputation already, but I think on the digital side of things, you guys, needed more of those 5-star reviews on Google. You didn't have a lot of social proof to kind of back up online that you guys are great at what you do. I guess this is a 2-part question. Number one, how did you generate the reputation that you have? And then number 2, what do you think made you guys so effective at bolstering your reviews over the last year? Because you guys went from something like 30 reviews to like almost 300 in under a year, which is amazing.
So the one-word answer to that is execution. Because we were providing the service. We didn't provide a different service in the past year, but we actually executed on asking our clients to give us some feedback, which we never paid attention to because we're a digital marketing dinosaurs. We didn't know what we were doing, and we were busy working in the business and not on the business. So nothing changed. The level of service is the same, hopefully better, because you always want to improve. The only thing that changed is executing and saying, were you happy with your service? Can you please let us know and let the rest of the world know as well? That's the only difference.
You guys definitely made it a priority, and it showed. And yeah, like I said, I think last I checked, you guys are approaching 300 5-star reviews and for just one of your locations, which is amazing. And it's given you guys some serious staying power, and it's helped you differentiate in an already competitive market.
And I have to say that also goes back to the team. That's not an individual effort. We have very good people working at our office who, I think they're probably some of the best in this business. Again, it was a team effort. It was under your guidance, under your advice, but the execution that took place was all them. Service is the same. Provided the same service this year as we did for the past 20. If not better, it's just actually executing and working on that marketing end.
And you guys did a really good job of setting the goalpost for the rest of your team and saying, look, everyone, this is where we want to be at in terms of our reviews by the end of the year. And the beauty of that, once you set that goalpost, a lot of the team started thinking about ways to get to that number faster. I know a member of your team ultimately ended up recommending like a technology to automate a lot of the review requests, which has been really helpful. So I think you guys, like you said, execution, but I also think, you and Eric did a really good job of making it clear to your team that this is a priority, this is important, and this is something that we expect you guys to act on. And the rest is history.
I think that in any business, legal, medical, retail, wholesale, it doesn't matter. Communication is key, and the way you send that message and who sends that message and how they send that message is crucial. Because if that doesn't happen, and it doesn't happen clearly, then you got a lot bigger problems.
Yeah, everyone's rowing in different directions, and that's when problems arise. I agree. What advice, Lawrence, would you give to a young aspiring lawyer that wants to build their own practice?
Surround yourself with the right team. And it's not necessarily, you don't need to spend millions of dollars. You don't necessarily need full staff for marketing, for finance, for paralegal. Do it gradually, but make sure that you surround yourself with the right people to meet your long and short-term goals, because you're not an expert at everything. You're just not. And if you try to be, most likely you're going to fail. Let the experts advise you on what they know.
In the case of you and Eric, what did that mean for you guys early on in your career as law firm owners? Were you taking a certain side of things that you were best at, and then Eric was kind of taking the things that he was best at? What did that look like in practice for you?
I mean, in reality, we struggled from a business perspective because we were busy practicing law. We were busy putting out fires, and we weren't giving the business aspect of our practice the attention that it needed. And it took some maturity to understand that what I just said, you got to have the right person in the right position. And sometimes, if you're a quarterback, you can't play tight end. I'm sorry if I'm talking in analogies, but that's what it is. Right? You need to have the right people in the right position. Somebody's better in business law. Somebody's better in personal injury law. Somebody's better in medical malpractice law. Same thing here. Somebody's better at marketing. Somebody's better at finance. So find that person and use them to the best you can.
Great. Lawrence, I really want to thank you for coming on the podcast today. For our listeners, how can they find you online or connect with you?
215injury.com, 215-364-5030, or just first initial, last name, L. Kalikhman at calraylaw.com.
Awesome. Lawrence, thank you again very much for being on the podcast today. Thank you for our listeners to tuning in, and we look forward to having you listen in on our next show.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me, Bo.